These are the steps for safe blood transfusion. It's a clip. Here we are going to see the 3 steps of the physician. The first is to see the indication of blood transfusion, patient assessment, counter check with the blood results, CBC, level of hemoglobin, checking the identity of the patient, that this result belongs to the same patient. The second step is informed consent. The doctor is explaining the risk, benefit, the complications and alternatives for blood transfusion to the patient. He is a thalassemia patient, 23 years of age. Before this informed consent was signed, doctor again checked the identity with the armband. The second step. And the third step for the physician is to fill the form for blood transfusion. That is the blood transfusion request form. There is the form at the top and there is a copy underneath. Both those forms have to be filled. Blood group to be written, rechecked with the blood group result in the file. Request form to be signed, stamp placed and sent to the nurse. From here, the work of the nurse starts. First of all, she has to identify the patient, the medical record number, and the 4 names of the patient. She has to check the armband. With the patient, she'll take the sample of the patient, fill the bottle with the sample, put the sticker at the side of the patient, at the bedside, and counter checked by another nurse in the unit. Counter check done. These 2 nurses will now fill the blood transfusion safety checklist form, part 1, signed by the primary nurse as well as the counter checking nurse. And the sample will be sent to the blood bank. Now, to check if the blood is ready in the blood bank, she telephones the blood bank. Blood is ready. She comes and assesses the patient, take the vital signs just prior to blood transfusion. Vital signs are stable. She confirms the availability of the physician in the unit. He is there. She'll go to the blood bank now along with these 3 forms. The first is the copy of the blood transfusion request. The second is the blood transfusion safety checklist and the result of the blood group. The nurse is going down to collect the blood from the blood bank. In the blood bank, the procedure and the steps are taken by both the primary nurse and the blood bank technician. The most important issue is to identify the correct patient through the request which was sent earlier. The cross-matching screening done by the blood bank technician for the same patient. The identification, blood grouping, rechecked between the blood bank technician and the primary nurse. blood group checked, satisfied. At this point, the blood bank technician will provide the nurse with the collection form. This collection form, after the blood transfusion, has to be returned back to the blood bank. The nurse will receive the blood and the collection form. Here, she will get the blood transfusion safety checklist form signed by the blood bank technician and the primary nurse together. She signs the blood bank registry that she has received the blood, and the blood goes to the unit, to the ward. At the side of the patient, for confirmation of blood, should be done between the physician, the nurse, and the blood bag. They have to check the blood group, the identity, the blood bag's number at the bedside of the patient. Once these steps are taken to make sure the blood bag belongs to this patient, the blood transfusion safety checklist form has to be signed by the physician and the primary nurse at number 3 of blood transfusion safety checklist at the bedside, and blood transfusion has to be started. This is the WBC filter, and there it goes. Thank you so much.